The same thing, the same, like that's what I've been screaming. The attorney generals, the DAs, the judges, they're
Mm-hmm.
all crooked down there. Everything. And
You,
like I said, and I want people to please remember this. Please remember this. Y'all are seeing it unfold right now.
mm-hmm.
Just because we don't know, okay, okay, there's a big group of people that do illegal stuff. Not all of those people were involved in Summer's disappearance. But if some of those people were involved in her disappearance or the cover up of her disappearance, and that gets looked into heavily, then that's going to start uncovering things with the big group of people, which is the people that you're seeing right now. Michelle After Dark is seeing right now. Cam and
Mm-hmm.
Allie's seeing right now. Angel Talks Too Fast is seeing right now. Because, like I said, everybody moves out of the hollers, marries into people, but they still have kinfolk back in the hollers, and they all cover up for each other.
Yep. Yep.
So we
What do you
don't
think?
know. We don't know to the extent, but we know that there's. Me and Penny ran into this a long time ago, over a year ago, when we ran into stuff, and it was just like Cam was saying on his live stream the other day. We ran into a thing with Ronnie Lawson and the connections there when we were looking into Carly Trent and her whole case. And we were like, okay,
Yep.
where do we go with this?
Yeah.
Because if you remember, we did the Local Man part 1, part 2, and then part 3 was only like 5 minutes because I covered the family and friends, and then I was going to cover money and crime next. Well,
Yep.
after I covered the family and friends, we decided to stop because we didn't know where to go with the money and crime part of it because of the names that we were running up into. And at that time, we were like, well, where do we go with this?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you go to? They're all freaking involved. Where do you go?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Do you think possibly though? This is what I think. I think though. Okay, look at the district attorney who is going to be the. I mean, he's the one that makes the call on what the sentence is. Dan Armstrong is. He is a freaking. I'm telling you, he's involved in this. It's not allegedly. Okay, look at Dan Armstrong. He's like what in his 60s or something, and so is Cecil Mills, and then so is Ronnie Lawson. They're towards the end of their career, and then they freaking somehow Ronnie, or somehow I'm guessing the judge, he's a new judge, he's 40 years old. I think I don't know, I'm kind of thinking he might be innocent and all, or not innocent, but I think he probably thought looked up to these guys, and they were his, he's heard of them for years, and he's starting out his career, and he wants to make a good impression. I don't know, I think possibly he might not be involved at all. And there's a reason why they picked that judge, and there is, guys, a reason why the assistant too, it's like he's not the Cecil. Why Cecil was the one that took this or arranged the deal with the court.
I was listening to your stream last night. I wasn't chatting it much, but I haven't been visible.
Yeah, and
And
I thought
I agree with you on the Cecil Mills part to a degree, and I agree with you very strongly on the judge. What I think is
okay.
happening, but we don't know to what degree yet. But I honestly think people like Dan Armstrong and uh, Cecil Mills and Ronnie Lawson, all those guys are grooming this new young judge.
Yeah, and that's how this continues, and that's why you're
So that
right.
it continues. You're exactly
That
right. So that
that's
it
what's
continues.
happening, because this is going on for decades. Even Jody Sue admitted that she's been involved in working with law enforcement for a decade in these messages, which is very. Don't you find that really weird timing, that in those messages, the Discord messages? Did you see those? I'm sure you did. You were there. It was in the Discord you were in with Penny and
Oh, yeah.
Kizzy,
Yeah.
where she was saying that she's worked with big fish and small fish and
Right.
in law enforcement for the last decade. Well, a decade ago is when we found when that drug bust was.
Absolutely was.
And so it sounds like ever since then she's been somehow doing some dirty work for law enforcement. It sounds like. And I really feel like that. Like, and now it all makes sense. And even Jody Sue was kind of trying to like give us hints there at times, even though you can't trust anything she says though. but she just always would talk about Ronnie Lawson. And I also, somebody, who was it that said they believe that the reason why she's live 24/7 is to kind of, because she's scared and she feels like she always has to be on camera because she's scared of Ronnie Lawson, and she's afraid they're, I don't know. I know she's paranoid and stuff. I know she comes up with some crazy stuff, but I am, it makes you wonder. I mean,